Hey, what's up, guys? Let's get a second swing on this. Let's chime in again and have some talk about the world around us today. And let's just say this, that it's starting to get funny because the fact of the matter is that not every police officer condones what happens with Mr. Floyd. And, I'm considered a minority in the United States, the Mexican population. A matter of fact, they have a whole department for Mexicans. It's called ICE, Immigration. Black people deal with situations like police brutality and things like that. But honestly, it's across the board. Now, in the Western states, we may not see it as heavy as the Eastern states see it, but it is seen. And so, growing up as a minority in a black community, I'm talking about myself, eventually making it to prison and hanging out with all races and understanding racial divide and things like that, I come to you with that perspective in mind. And so here I am sitting at my house, swimming pool, wife, a family, coming out of a minority situation into a blessed situation because of the hand of God and because of obedience. Because a lot of times people think that you're going to get this free handout. And the Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. So how much more would that apply to the man who is not putting in the work for success or is not putting in the work for change? And you see, rioting does nothing. It does nothing for anybody. And at this point, there's a fine line between going out there, scaring old people, breaking windows, and making families stay inside their home and bringing curfew in the states. It does absolutely nothing for the community. There's a very fine line. You see, at this point, it may no longer be for justice. It may now be for looting and getting what you can and just venting. And again, if the criminal justice system has to be judged one day by God, how much more will we have to be judged by God? You can see it all over social media. You can see both sides of the coin. You see amazing American officers who do not condone both sides of the coin. They just say, hey, you know what the guy did was wrong, and hey, you know what the people are doing are wrong. And then you have racism that people are condoning, and then you have people that are saying they're anti-racist. And so if you haven't grown up in a minority community to really experience what that's like, you may not really understand how people feel. And you may not understand the criminal justice system like maybe a person with a lot of money with great lawyers and a person who has a lot of character references. You may not understand things the same. So my encouragement is that if you're not going to be about the solution, don't talk about the peace. And you see, you can't talk about peace if you're still out there rioting and if you're still condoning wrong. And so when people are being scared and terrified to stay in their homes and they have families that they're trying to protect, and you take a bat and you bust a window out, what good have you accomplished? And so I think that there comes a point where, if you're really going to take a stand, then teach the people how to vote better. If you're really going to take a stand, then teach the people how to do better. If you're really going to take a stand, then you're going to have to put in the work, and you're going to have to do it the right way in order for things to be seen. And that means you're going to have to educate a community that may not be educated. I myself go into prisons now. I myself do prison reform now. I try to educate people in different areas to fight differently, because violence upon violence is not the right answer. Yes, America has a dark and ugly history, and Why would you want to repeat that dark and ugly history? Why would you still want to live in the aftermath of that dark and ugly history with the same method of violence and the same method of tyranny? And so, we just pray for those who are living in the violent idea, who are living in the rebellion against God, who's allowed pride, who's allowed anger, who's allowed hatred to come and to take place. You see, when you go back to the Greek word of offense, because Jesus says offenses must come. But you see, when the offense comes, you got to realize that the offense is the bait of Satan. You see, you walk into the trap when you become offended by everything and anything around you. And you see, people are offended by what had happened, and we get it. But why would you bring more offense to others for others to be offended? You see, if mathematics is clear, then how come that isn't clear? How come the math in this isn't clear? You see, so God comes and he deals with the heart, and that's what God is trying to deal with now, because people have an opportunity to grow from a situation, to heal from a situation, to really get right from a situation, and really to advocate better and to fight better, but they're choosing not to. So what is that going to do? That's going to bring more chaos into our country, and that chaos is just going to spur on harder laws. That chaos is just going to spur on harder methods, and nobody wants that. Not even the police officers who don't condone the situation. The police officers who are like, hey, you know what? I get what you guys are fighting for, but man, we're doing this in the wrong way, and now my life's at line in the line of fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys got to see it in that perspective, in more of a mature way, because this is not a mature way to handle this. And so anyhow, that's my rant on this right now. I just saw a video of white people tagging up a building, and a black person comes up, and the black person says, why are you doing that? Why are you putting black lives on this building? Did we ask you to put black lives on this building? You know what's going to happen? They're going to come and they're going to blame us for you putting black lives on this building. And so I thought that was interesting. It's an interesting comment, So again, I don't think this thing is turning into an act of, hey, let's bring justice and healing to the community. It's turned into chaos. It's complete chaos. It's complete violence, and it's complete sin. And, you're going to have to be held accountable for that before God. And so it's one of those things that, like, hey, pick your battles differently. Pick your battles a little bit wiser. The word is out there. The voice has been heard. How much longer do you want to bring hate into the country? So something to think about, something to chew on. God bless you. Until next time.